quiet on the set.
Now, I present to you the An Action Pod.
Welcome back to another episode of An Action. And this week we have lots of news, lots of reviews. But quick, I have a new segment that's going to be reoccurring until, well, the segment needs to end. I like to call this segment
The Bat News.
Hey Daniel, did you watch that movie I lent you a month ago?
Oh, this is great. I love it. I love the idea.
So it's pretty simple. It's a yes or no question. Daniel, did you watch that movie I lent you a month ago?
No.
Okay.
Name the movie.
What's the movie I lent you a month ago, real quick?
Your Name.
Your Name, of course. So I gave you a bye for 2 weeks, of course, from the
Goddamn.
trips. But it's been a couple weeks now. But you told me you rewatched Parasite again. You've seen Parasite a couple times now, have you?
Yes.
Yeah. Just a quick fact here. Parasite's 2 hours and 12 minutes. Your Name, hour and 52 minutes. You would have had an extra 20 minutes if you just watched Your Name and not Parasite again. Just quick fact in there real quick. This is a recurring segment until Daniel finishes the movie and is returned to me. And that's my segment. Thanks. Thank you. Yes.
The
All right.
embarrassing part is he clapped. Because
Because it's funny.
Thank you. Yeah. All right.
Get your
Anyways.
shit together, Daniel.
Get your shit together. Let's talk about the one trailer, which is it's different than typical trailers, which is more towards the Star Wars lore itself, not really like a movie or TV show.
Oh.
We can talk about it just briefly. They put out a trailer today. We just watched it. It's for what was it? What are they calling the era?
Star Wars, the era is the High Republic era.
And basically, it's set 200 years before.
Some 100 years before.
A couple hundred years before Phantom Menace.
The Star Wars, this Skywalker saga.
The Skywalker saga.
Yes, the Skywalker saga. And it's kind of showing a different setting of the Jedis and where it was kind of, as they were saying in this trailer, more balance to it. And it was a little more peace. They were kind of a little bit more like, they described them as like Texas Rangers, kind of like lawful, and they're just kind of patrolling everywhere. And they're just, where they're expanding it into like novels and comics. I think it's just literature from what I saw. I don't think there's any for now.
Literature and imagination, Derek.
Imagination, of course. Which is really cool. It's an era I don't think they've touched on too much yet, besides in like Knights of the Old Republic and things like that.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say they just made this up.
Yeah?
Yeah, because they just like were like, oh yeah, we're gonna call it the High Republic.
Probably.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what they said.
Yeah. It's lore. It's official.
Yeah.
But all this stuff's coming out in the start of August, so that's when we're gonna start seeing this stuff come out. And I might check some of it out. I might not. Who knows? It just depends on how what I hear about it. But I might forget about it until then, and then maybe it'll be a nice surprise when it does release. So, what did you guys think about this?
I was kind of hoping for a little bit of older Republic stuff, but it's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a start.
It's something.
Yeah. Daniel?
I mean, at least they're going to a different era, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it has potential for a lot of stories. So
Of the three of us, you probably read the most. Would this be
Probably
something?
the only one that reads.
Probably the only one. Would this be something you would go out of your way to check out, or is it a maybe for you?
probably a maybe.
A maybe?
Yeah.
Okay. I may check out the comics if anything.
I'm gonna be honest here, Derek. I'm gonna make a strong observation and say that since he has not watched your movies,
That's
he
fair.
probably doesn't have enough time to read the book for Star Wars. But if there's a Parasite book, be on the lookout. Daniel's on it.
I'm gonna need your Blockbuster card back, sir. I'm sorry. That's the trailer. That's the only trailer. There was kind of a light week in terms of new movies coming out, but I think we have a couple big movies coming out, so we should have some trailers. There's a new trailer for the Candyman movie that comes out this week.
Oh, there's a little teaser this morning.
Yeah,
the full trailer comes out Thursday.
Jordan Peele is producing as well. So
They just say Candyman 5 times.
yeah.
Do it, Daniel.
No. Why?
Because he comes. That's the legend. He appears to you.
Do it.
You do it.
And he gets you with his
Dare
hook.
you to do it.
Oh my god.
You gonna do it?
Yeah.
Do it.
Why not?
Do it.
Candyman. One more, right?
One more, yeah.
Candyman.
I feel like some other trailer is supposed to come out this week.
Probably. I didn't see anything announced about it, but this was the only one I saw like in social media pop up. So that we'll probably have that to talk about a little bit. I've not seen the old movie, so we'll see.
I saw it a long time ago. Don't remember much of it, so yeah.
All right, let's hear some box office.
That's rankings. Yes, here we go. Really huge weekend.
Yeah,
For only 2 movies.
for only 2.
Yeah. Sonic the Hedgehog at number 1 for the 26 million. Still staying strong at number 1. Number 2, Call of the Wild, 24 million. Wow. And then a huge drop. Birds of Prey with 6 million.
Ooh.
Yeah, and Bad Boys still hanging in at number 4.
Wow.
They did. They beat Brahms, The Boy, too.
Wow, look at that.
Wow.
Just
a
barely.
little bit.
Yeah.
People really wanted to see that movie.
And technically, Bad Boys went up. It was
Yes,
fifth
it
last
was
week.
fifth last week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
Yeah, it's great.
Ah.
Let's see. What's it called?
What's it called? What is it?
Video game movies.
Oh,
Where
where
now
is?
Sonic ranks.
Yes.
Now you are the Google Master, so you.
Oh, am I?
Yes, you are.
Okay.
I don't really know how that works.
Okay. Well, usually on Box Office Mojo, they do a
Yeah,
little.
let me see.
I'll let
I
Daniel do
think
it.
I know.
They have a breakdown of they'll compare like other movies with it
Oh, yeah.
usually.
Oh, okay.
But they've changed the website, so I don't know
Yeah,
how to
they
navigate it now. But look at him go. I can't even see the screen, but it seems.
He's just moving up. And down.
Spend the rest
Daniel
of this time.
somehow keeps double clicking with
Oh,
2
wait.
fingers.
That's video game shootout.
Oh.
There's no other video game category. I think it ranks 4th right now.
So what
How do you know?
Because I in the
is this? So this is all time gross then, not
Yes.
necessarily domestic.
it only compares it to Pikachu.
To Pikachu.
Damn it, sorry.
Okay, take your 1 finger off. There you go. Ooh.
Okay. So
Going for that, Derek.
it is. Yeah, it could outgross it domestically. There's a good chance. It's gonna be close if it does. But worldwide, yeah, I don't know about worldwide though. Scroll down. Let's see worldwide. Yeah, it might be close too.
Yeah.
We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll check back. Our Sonic vs.
Yeah,
Pikachu.
Keeping an eye out.
in the rundown of the weekend, they said that it was now number 4th.
Mm-hmm.
Number 4.
Yeah. Okay.
It's pretty
So
good.
what are the
game
other 2 then?
adaptation.
It's Detective Pikachu. And what other video game movies did well? Is it a Resident Evil? I'm curious
That
now.
I don't know. Go. Oh,
Tomb Raider. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll definitely take out Angry Birds, and probably Tomb Raider, and it's gonna be close with Detective Pikachu, I think.
Huh. All right.
All right, well there you go,
And we're back.
and we're back.
And we're back.
We got our number, so that's good. Yes.
Yeah, we did.
Any other comments on the box office for this past weekend? Any other?
No,
No, but
not really. I
Yeah.
don't
All right, then
have
let me
much to add.
run through our news this week and see what we want to talk about. Your boys ready?
Yeah.
All right. Well, first one. This was as of today. Bob Iger has stepped down and is retiring. And what was his name? Bob
Chapek.
Chapek is taking over. Jurassic World Dominion began filming today as a recording. The Love, Simon series moves from Disney Plus to Hulu. Paul Rudd and Will Ferrell team up for a new show. Taika Waititi and Jude Law team up for a new show. Further details on the new Planet of the Apes movie are saying it's not going to be a reboot. Netflix Adam and Kay comedy starring Jennifer Lawrence is happening. Early reactions to Onward have been very positive. The Little Shop of Horror remake has an interesting cast kind of circling it right now. Mission Impossible 7 currently is halted production due to the coronavirus scare.
You hate to see it.
You hate to see it.
Damn.
And that's it. Those are all the news headlines. So what was what do you guys want to talk about out of that? What sounded interesting? You want to take a look?
Yeah.
You take a
I
look.
mean, you know what I want to talk about.
I want to talk about two, so we can talk about that.
Yeah,
first.
go ahead.
The Little Shop of Horrors.
Little Shop of Horrors remake.
So I didn't know they were remaking this until recently, and as the cast has kind of been growing for it.
So there's been rumors for a couple months of Lady Gaga being the lead. That has now changed to another lead, which is Scarlett Johansson.
Scarlett Johansson for Audrey.
For Audrey.
Yes.
And then,
Taron Egerton for Seymour.
Yeah. And then the most recent development is that Chris Evans is in talks to be Orange Scrivello, which was played by Steve Martin in the original movie. Well, the musical version.
The dentist in that, which is, he has a great song in that, and he's very funny. So this be interesting.
It's a really funny part, and Chris Evans has said in the past that he wants to do a musical.
Yeah.
So that's very interesting that he would do this one.
And he tweeted about it too. He retweeted the headline about him in it. So, and that's an interesting character because if you're not familiar with that character, he's a sadist in that. So he enjoys.
He's an asshole.
And he's an asshole too. So. And then did we say Audrey? Audrey 2?
Audrey 2, the voice of the plant would be Billy Porter, which is perfect casting. So I hope.
But nothing is confirmed yet.
Yeah.
But I think it's a pretty solid cast from what I heard so far.
That. Yeah.
But I think that's pretty much the principal cast. There might be some like minor characters. I know John Candy was in the musical one, so it might be like a friend role for somebody in that.
There's like smaller roles.
Rest in peace, big guy.
Mr. Mushnick has a smaller role, so that would be interesting who they cast.
The background singers throughout, if they go up.
The Ronettes.
Yeah. What else? Let's see. I wanted to touch on. I was going to mention something about this Love, Simon series because I thought this was interesting because the reason why it's going from Disney Plus to Hulu because they said it was too adult for Disney Plus.
Interesting.
The themes were too much, so Hulu is the better platform apparently for that. I did see a tweet. It was a retweet with a comment on this one, and it was like Thor beheads Thanos in Endgame. So it's like, it's like maybe they don't want to have their platform attached to it necessarily. Maybe Hulu that's just like a little backdoor for them. Yeah. Similar how like they had movies with like that were previous under 20th Century Fox, like Jojo Rabbit and things like that. They're theirs, but they don't have to put Disney on it, if that makes sense. So, anything else interesting to you, Brett? Anything? You want to take a look?
Yeah.
You take a look at that.
Let's go Planet of the Apes.
So after, I think last week I mentioned that it was going to be a reboot based on people that were talking, but the director came out and said, no, this won't be a reboot. Caesar's influence will still be known within these films, and we're going to continue that legacy forward. So rather than start from fresh, they're going to continue forward, but Caesar's presence and influence will be there.
So it's like a continuation, but with new characters.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. Apes together strong.
Yeah.
So,
sweet.
The other show I want to talk about the Paul Rudd and Will Ferrell show. I need to look up the deets on that one real quick because it looked pretty interesting. And they haven't teamed up for something since the Anchorman films.
Oh wow.
Real quick while I'm looking this up, did you guys know? Oh Jesus! Did you guys know what the original plot for Anchorman was going to be? Have you guys heard of this story?
No.
So Paul Rudd has said this, and Will Ferrell's confirmed it that the movie originally was going to be a bunch of Anchormen are on a plane, and it crashes on an island, and they're left to fend for themselves and fight against these like monkeys that are on the island too. 100% legit. This was supposed to be the original plot of the movie, but the studio was not down for that.
Oh my god.
Good thing they didn't do that.
That sounds ridiculous, but also I would have
watched it.
Yeah.
So the series is called The Shrink Next Door. It was based off a podcast. I believe it was a podcast or something originally. Yeah, a Bloomberg Media podcast. It's a dark comedy inspired by true events. The bizarre relationship between psychiatrist Dr. Isaac Hirschkopf, who was played by Paul Rudd, and his longtime patient, Marty Markowitz, who's Will Ferrell. Over the course of the relationship, Ike slowly takes over Marty's life, even moving into Marty's home and taking over his family business. So that's the general plot of this. So
It's pretty funny.
it should. I mean, it should be interesting. I mean, I would feel like the roles would be kind of reversed in that scenario. So it's kind of interesting to see Will Ferrell play the straight man to maybe a more eccentric Paul Rudd character. So
Yeah.
I don't know I think it's I don't know who has this MRC television. I'm not sure where that'll air. But I wouldn't be expecting this till like maybe next year. But
never mind.
But it sounds pretty interesting. So I'm here for with anything with Paul Rudd or Will Ferrell.
Sounds real interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Besides that, this one I forgot to mention in news because it was just something I saw on social media, and then maybe you guys want to maybe give quick thoughts about this. A deep fake was circulating earlier I guess it was last week, and it was from Back to the Future, and you guys I'm sure you're familiar with what deepfakes are, right?
No.
So basically, a deepfake is they're taking someone else's body and putting their face over it. In this case, for that Back to the Future scene, they took Tom Holland and Robert Downey Jr. and put them over Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd, respectively, for the Back to the Future. And it's kind of deepfakes are really weird too. You see them. I've been seeing them a lot online for like when comedians do impressions, they'll put the celebrity they're doing an impression of over that character's face or vice versa. But yeah, here is it.
Wow.
This right here. And it's more so like a fan casting essentially for if they shouldn't, but if they ever wanted to reboot Back to the Future. But my guess is, what do you guys think about the stuff like this? Do you think when stuff comes out like this, do you think it's just like fans doing it, or do you think it's like maybe someone from the studio secretly putting it out, trying to test the water to see what people's reactions are to something like this? Or maybe a little both. I've seen for sure a lot of fans do it, but
wasn't the Deadpool like thing?
Ryan Reynolds confirmed that he himself leaked that out to like gain the traction for it. But that was like, I guess it was different in a sense because like they filmed it, he was involved in it, and he was the one who wanted to get the backing for
scene,
it.
Right?
The freeway sequence.
But wasn't everyone saying that like the fans made this or something like that?
What, that clip?
Yeah, that clip.
I think they tried to claim that, or maybe
fan made.
Maybe either it was fan made or the fans leaked it. I think Ryan Reynolds like nipped in the butt. That was like, it was pretty much he was the one who leaked it out.
Interesting.
But yeah, I feel like it wouldn't be surprising if like a studio did something like this just to like see what
to gauge
if like what if we did something like this. I mean, obviously people are still kind of like wanting those two to be together just after the Spider-Man Avengers films. But I don't know if deepfakes are the way to like kind of tease those ideas, or at least maybe do new ideas, not necessarily have to reboot something, you know?
Yeah, I mean, they can do a movie together. It doesn't have to be a remake of a beloved movie.
Trilogy.
Yeah.
Daniel. Beloved trilogy.
You're right.
What do you guys think about that in general? Does a deepfake, do you think that is violating anything when that happens? Because I don't know, obviously no one gets the permission on that. It's done by somebody and they're doing it. So and there was a whole scandal a while back where people were uploading porn online, and they took actresses' faces and put them on porn stars. Yeah,
a porn. Oh,
so that was a huge scandal, and I think they were able to get everything down. But a lot of people were upset because it's like that's not me. They're using my likeness in this capacity, and that's not okay with me. You know, kind of similar when like the leaks or like the cloud leaks happened and they got all that footage out. It's more or less something similar because they're still taking their likeness and using it, you know. But what do you guys think about that?
I think it's just for fun.
Well, I mean, it should, but like sometimes it's like,
I mean, as long as they don't like overstep, then it's fine.
It's
as long as they're not.
There's boundaries in place, and
exactly.
Clearly the Back to the Future is overstepping its boundaries there.
Well, we'll see.
To some people, yeah.
Some people, yeah.
And I'm here. That's me. I'm that some people.
That movie should just never be remade. Period.
They shouldn't be touched now.
There's certain movies that you don't touch, and that's definitely one of them.
I said no. So, that was it. I just wanted to gauge your guys' thoughts on that. I thought that was interesting, kind of circulating.
That's an interesting discussion, but
pretty good, Derek.
Thank you.
As long as it's not like like infringing on someone's like privacy or anything like that, little harmless fun.
Yeah.
What is privacy?
Doesn't exist anymore.
Not anymore.
You hear that, FBI? You listening?
Take this down now.
I mean, that's all the news I had. I don't know if you boys, there's anything I missed or you guys wanted to still talk about within that.
Nope. I think the main thing I wanted to talk about was Little Shop of Horrors. So.
Okay, well, let's get to some reviews then. We have a good amount of reviews to hit. I think we have, 2 new movies and 2 new shows to talk about. Or 1 show that's come back and then a new show. So I don't know where we want to start. Maybe you should start with...
Yeah, I'll talk about. So I saw a French movie called Portrait of a Lady on Fire. It's a movie it's from 2019, but it's barely making its way into theaters in the U.S. It competed in Cannes at the Cannes Film Festival, and I was reading an article that a lot of people thought it was favored to win the Palme d'Or.
Yeah.
Which at the end Parasite ended up winning with a unanimous vote.
Yeah.
But really good movie. It won the best screenplay at that festival. And it was also at one point considered to be France's submission for the best international film category, but they ended up choosing another movie called Les Miserables, which is not the musical or not based on the Victor Hugo book.
Okay.
Same title.
Same name.
But different. It's about like some riots in Paris.
Interesting.
In 2005.
So I was about to say, isn't that what that movie's about?
This movie is a very subtle, kind of slow movie in a way. I really, really enjoyed it. The thing that struck me the most is that the movie doesn't have a score, so it's like very quiet. It has a very quiet feeling to it.
Okay.
But I feel like that kind of serves the movie positively.
Okay.
And the way it's shot, it makes it look very kind of like a painting in a way, since the movie is about a painting.
Right. Okay.
It has some gorgeous, gorgeous shots. The basic plot of the movie is that this girl is hired to paint the portrait of another girl who's for her future husband. But the mom tells her you can't, you have to paint her in secret. She thinks you're just here as a companion. So you have to paint her in secret. So it's kind of they start developing a friendship, and then they start and more afterwards. So it is a romance movie set in 18th century France. It's a gorgeous movie. It's like I said, it's kind of more subtle, more understated, but I thought it was fantastic. Great performances. I do wish it would have gotten more attention in the awards, just because it's very well written. The cinematography is gorgeous, but I think
definitely got overshadowed by Parasite.
It got overshadowed by Parasite, and it is also the same distributor in America. So I think Neon kind of put their efforts into campaigning Parasite more.
Gotcha.
But I mean, just the fact that it wasn't nominated for awards doesn't make it any less of a good movie. So
right.
If this is something that interests you, I would say definitely check it out. I had heard great things coming in, so my expectations were reasonable, but I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I heard good things about it on social media, so I might check it out at some point. But it's widening its release finally, right?
Yeah, so it's open limited on the 14th, and it's gonna be expanding throughout. So I don't know how well it's doing, but at least it got a release in the U.S.
Okay.
So I'm just glad for that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, I think we should start cooking things up here and talk about.
Do we? Or do you want to hit your next movie review?
You can do the TV one.
We're gonna do TV.
All right, sounds great.
What, I can't talk about what I
No, that's fine.
No. All right. I was gonna you and me talk since he just talked.
Yeah, and
then switch back to me and
Oh
Daniel.
yeah, I mean it's
No.
I thought we were just gonna go movie then.
Do something different. Let's spice things up.
Well, now
Speaking of spicing things up,
there we go.
Gotta really reel that one back. Chef Show Volume 3.
Volume 3.
And it's the next part of I guess how it's releasing. Another 6 episodes. And just following Jon Favreau and Roy Choi once again into some new places.
To Vegas.
Went to Vegas. Vegas and LA were predominantly where they were, right? Did they go anywhere else? Okay.
No, that's pretty much it.
Roy has a restaurant in
He just
Vegas,
opened a
right?
place in Vegas, yeah.
Yeah.
Best Friends, I believe it's called. Or is it friend? Is it plural or non-plural?
Best friend.
Well, they go to that restaurant in one of the episodes because they cook a couple dishes from at the restaurant.
Best friend.
Best friend, okay. And I think it's at the MGM as well. I think that's where they opened it.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
I knew that.
Nice, dude.
Yeah.
What is it? Just like comfort food, or what kind of food?
It definitely has like his own like flair to it, like a lot of LA inspired dishes as well as
Ooh, there's like an LA street dog.
Ooh.
There's a whole grilled ass fish.
like Korean like fusion.
So it's like fusion.
yeah,
That's
but like
cool.
pretty much Roy Choice.
There's bologna sandwiches.
So comfort food and like fusion. And
Yeah,
that
it
sounds cool.
looks really good. So, what I do like a lot about this show still is just that balance of like the cooking aspect and like the relationship, like the communication, like just interviewing, talking with these people, and they do a good job of like balancing both sides of it. Like they talk to these like maybe more chef cooking related celebrities, or like the first episode they go to see Wolfgang Puck, and they cook with Wolfgang Puck at his restaurant. And then later in that season, they go meet with Sam Raimi, and they cook from like he gets stuff from his garden. They cook some stuff based on that.
Which you told me that yesterday, and I was surprised that they would. But you said that they're friends, Jon Favreau and.
It sounds like they're
And
friends.
Sam
This is
Raimi,
based on how
like-
they were talking. Like
yeah.
they've known each other for a bit. But Brett, what's some highlights for you for this latest volume?
Again, it looks like they had this shit stored, and then
Yeah.
they decided to put it out again.
It was very evident by that, since they probably had 5 for sure solid episodes.
Yeah, and then
The 6th was basically a bonus episode of segments.
the lady who made sprinkles happen.
Yeah, the lady who made sprinkles. They had a segment from that pizzeria they went to.
Yeah, which I honestly, the last episode I could leave like.
The take or leave, essentially. It was basically just bonus stuff. You had
Like
5.
a filler, you called
It was a filler episodes because, as I think I told Daniel, like they clearly filmed everything in like this batch, and then the time span I just kind of based it off of Roy Choi's facial hair and his hair.
Yeah.
I
mean, I'm sure they're both really busy.
I would say, yeah, I'm sure. And then the newer episodes I would assume are the Vegas ones
Yes.
because his restaurant just opened recently, like within the last couple months. So I'd say those are probably the newer ones when they were like, I think the first 2 episodes were.
So maybe they filmed the newest batch.
And they just
And
use
they're
these
gonna
leftover
drop, yeah.
ones to fill in. And then you can kind of base it too, as like Jon Favreau was talking about, like he talked about Star Wars, he talked about The Lion King, where he's like at in his creative process, so or what he's working on. But I don't know when we'll get the next volume. They've been releasing pretty like close,
Like in like
Yeah.
6 months, like I feel like.
a couple months
intervals,
in apart. Yeah, it's pretty quick turnaround. But I think now there might be a longer gap. Potentially, who knows if they have more episodes piled up and we don't even know. But I just love this show. It's such a comforting show to just put on and just I can tune in and out. I can just listen to conversations and I glance up and I'll just see something like being prepared. But I've yet to like try to actually cook anything from any of the episodes. I feel like I want to do it at this point since it all looks great. I want to cook something.
Should cook the Sam Raimi sauce.
I should cook the Sam Raimi sauce. How about you?
Cooking the food
Or just any other thoughts you had?
Basically, I just wanted to ask, did it seem a little weird? Did Sam Raimi seem a little weird?
Did he seem a
He
little weird?
seemed like he was kind of scared to be there.
Maybe he doesn't like being on camera a whole lot. Maybe that's the thing. But
Maybe.
he just seems like he seems like he's just kind of like an interesting character in general.
Yeah.
I do think it's cool that him and Bruce Campbell are they're essentially childhood friends, from when they grew up in Michigan together, and that's how they made Evil Dead together and all the Evil Dead movies together, and it's kind of interesting to see their stories, how they kind of got to where they are now, and hearing some the early stuff of when they filmed. But yeah, that was just a quick thought on that. But
I thought that part was cool when he told them how he got started,
mm-hmm.
and he was just going to Kmart, buying Super 8 film,
yeah.
and just filming skits.
Well, I think because they had Robert Rodriguez on in the first volume, and I think they talked to him a little bit about that too, because he wrote he wrote a book about it called Rebel with a Cause, which is when he filmed El Mariachi, and literally he was on $1,000 budget or something ridiculously low, and how he literally had to film everything like it was like one shot. He had to do it in one take. With how he managed to do the sound and like cutting around certain things while being on this budget, which is it was a really good book, and it's a really interesting like film process. So, but that's away from cooking. But I love both of them. I think they're great together, and I'm excited for more. I think I can watch this indefinitely. So yeah, if you haven't watched it yet, I mean, what are you doing?
It's the number 3 show watched on Netflix.
Oh yeah, they put their
top.
They put their
10.
stats up now. Yeah.
What's
So
number 1 and 2?
Witcher.
Love is Blind is number 1.
Or is it current or like of all time?
I think current.
Oh, is that the Love is Blind? Is that show where they
like talk
like
to each
blind
other
dates,
through a fucking
yeah.
wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've been putting out a couple reality shows that I've been almost curious enough to check out, because there's that one, and then there's the other one, The Circle, where they're locked into a room and they have to create a social media presence.
Persona,
Yeah. Whether they use themselves or someone else.
Jesus.
Not interesting enough for me to check out yet.
That someone told me to watch that, but I was like, I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just not big on reality in general.
Me
Reality
neither.
shows in general.
Yeah.
So it's besides like I guess the cooking shows in this sense.
Yeah.
Those are like the only ones I check out. But yeah, that's all I had on the chef show.
Fantastic show.
Fantastic.
Another, and action recommend.
Yes. 5-star.
As
gold
always.
star since the beginning for that.
3 Michelin stars.
3 Michelin. Nice.
There you go.
Yeah. That was
pretty good.
great. Yeah. Well, let's jump back to the other movie we saw, Daniel.
So we saw The Lodge yesterday.
Don't give me that. Heard him snicker when I said that. Yeah, we watched The Lodge yesterday. And
we neither of us had heard much about it
No.
going into it. I hadn't even seen the trailer.
no,
And
because
neither had you.
I hadn't seen the trailer. I almost watched it just on a whim a couple weeks ago because I
Yeah.
heard it was getting good reviews, but I had no knowledge of what the movie was. But the basic plot, without saying too much, is father and his 2 kids with his new, I guess, girlfriend, fiance,
Yeah.
go on this like little trip up in their lodge up in the mountains
Yeah.
for Christmas, and he has to leave for a couple days on business, so it's her and the kids together, and they don't like her already. Without, I don't want to spoil it too much because I think there's some good twists in this movie. But there's some like back and forth between them that they clearly don't like each other, but soon some weird things start happening.
Strange occurrences.
Yeah, and she has a dark past herself
Yeah.
that kind of is affected by what's happening. And it's Riley. She's
Keough?
I think she's Elvis's granddaughter.
Yeah, I believe
Whoa.
so.
Yeah.
Riley Keough? I don't know how to
She's half Japanese.
no, it's like Keough. It's Key.
It also has Richard Armitage as well.
Jane
Oh!
Martell.
Jane Martell, yeah.
from It and
Fucking go.
And Knives Out.
Knives Out. Yeah.
And the little girl that's in it, she's going to be in The Eternal. She's one of the heroes in that. As I was looking up.
Yeah, Riley.
But what did you think of the movie, Daniel?
I mean, it was a very tense movie.
It was extremely tense, especially
very, very tense.
having no idea where the movie was or where it was going.
Yeah, I had no idea where the movie was gonna go either, so it was just like constant tension throughout the movie.
Yeah.
I liked it, but like we both kind of had the same feeling after we saw it. Like it was a good movie, but
yeah, I think I put it on the lines of like Hereditary, Lighthouse, like Witch, Midsummer, those horror movies, like very like art house style in a sense. But I did like it. I think it's not, I'd say it's not as maybe out there as like the Lighthouse is in terms of like some of the visual imagery and things like that. I think this is a little bit more like approachable for like maybe an audience to check out. And it's very tense throughout, and there's some good twists that kind of make you kind of, maybe you're not sure who you should trust essentially.
yeah, exactly. I had a couple ideas like of not a couple ideas, like a couple theories, like while watching the movie. I was like, oh, I think this is happening, but then they kind of like
it throws you for a loop a couple times what's going on.
Yeah.
But I think it's a good script. It's a lot of good like cinematography. I definitely got like Shining vibes to it.
A little bit
too.
Yeah.
I would recommend checking it out, but it's one of those movies probably, or the one watches enough. I don't need to watch it again.
We both agreed on that.
Yeah. Not that it's necessarily like a bad thing, but like
no, it's just it's kind of so tense that I don't know if I want to sit through that.
I don't know if I sit through it again.
Yeah. But I want to say her name's
Riley Keough.
Keough.
She was good. She was really good.
She was really good.
Yeah.
I liked her performance.
Yeah. All right.
I did look up the directors because they sounded a little bit familiar.
Mm-hmm.
So they're Austrian, and they did a horror movie a couple years ago called Goodnight Mommy.
Babadook.
No, that's an Australian.
Okay, chill out. I was joking.
But they did this movie called Goodnight Mommy that was also like in the same vein, kind of like thriller. And I remember I wanted to see it and I never got around to it. But
Okay.
yeah, they seem to be doing horror.
Yeah.
Kind of, that's their forte.
So if it's in wide, I think it's wide release now, right?
It's gonna keep expanding.
It's gonna keep expanding. So if it interests you, check it out. If you like some other movies I shot off in comparison, this might be a movie for you to check out too.
It's a good, like, as opposed to all the horror movies that have been coming out. Like,
It's definitely from like the trend of like The Boy to like The Turning. It's probably much better than those at least. So
definitely.
So check it out. And now we're gonna jump back to TV.
Real quick,
Unless you had something, Brett.
just to say something.
Go on.
She is the eldest granddaughter of Elvis Presley.
Yeah.
So she's Lisa Marie's daughter?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And whoever Danny Keough is.
Maybe her.
Oh my god, he's a fucking singer-songwriter.
Wow.
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 What fucking band were you in then, bitch?
I didn't know. I feel like I had read that she was Elvis's granddaughter and I completely forgot.
I think it is one of those things where I always see it. I'm like, oh wow,
Yeah.
and then I always forget.
You know, it'd be great
Mm-hmm.
is if she plays
Elvis?
Yeah, she plays Elvis.
Daniel. What in the fuck?
If she plays who?
Opposite of Austin Butler.
Wasn't that what they wanted to do?
No way.
Really?
But they casted someone else, and they're like, why didn't you cast her? I think that was the issue.
She does look like her mom.
Yeah, that's why people were like freaking out. Like, why didn't you cast her when they casted someone else instead?
Well,
Interesting.
Elvis's
I
wife
missed
is
opportunity.
not Lisa Marie Presley.
No, her.
Well, she could play. That's true.
Also, that'd be kind of creepy
That'd be
to like,
play your grandma.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
like kissing your grandpa.
I guess that would be weird, wouldn't it?
She doesn't really look like her.
Well, this is also her when she was fucking old, so. No.
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 She
Okay.
don't got it.
No. All right.
All right, now that we put that to rest.
Put that to rest. We're gonna move back to TV and talk about Hunters. Now, I think you've watched the first episode.
I saw the first episode.
You've only watched the opening scene.
I've only watched the opening scene.
I watched the first 2 episodes. We're a very light review or just discussion about
Just
it.
good, like, first impressions, I guess.
Brett, what did you think of that first scene at least? I know it's not what you watched, but what were your thoughts coming out of it?
Yeah, it was very crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was kind of briefly teased in the trailer.
Yeah.
But you don't know what the extent is. And then you get the extent and you're like, my God.
Kind of just threw me off.
Yeah, definitely.
I was like, whoa, like, I didn't expect to, like, right off the bat to, like,
it
do
gets you,
that.
it hits you with it right
Yeah.
away, yeah. So you get the tone of the show.
Yeah.
Very quick. But the basic premise is it's Logan Lerman, or that's your main character you're following, Jonah. It's set in 1977, and he's part of a Jewish family, and it's just him and his grandmother. But his grandmother is killed, which I think that's in the trailer too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But there's some mysterious circumstances behind it, and he encounters Al Pacino's character, who he knows his grandmother, and he kind of knows him a little bit. So he kind of inquires further, and he finds out that he is a part of his grandmother as well. Was a part of this like Nazi hunting group, who are taking down these remaining Nazis that are in the U.S.
That moved to the U.S. and
they're trying to start the Fourth Reich.
Mm-hmm.
Dylan Baker, who is the guy in the beginning, is part of it. He's like a high-ranking official. It seems like.
And then Lena Olin, which I didn't expect.
I don't know who that is
like the general.
Who is that, Daniel?
The general.
Right, but who is that? I don't know what is she from something? You said
she was in Chocolat, and she's been in a few other movies.
All right, I'll take your word on her.
Well, I saw her in the opening credits, and I was like, oh, I wonder who she plays, and I didn't expect her to play that part.
But yeah, I think the Logan Lerman is really good. He's really good in the first episode, and I'm curious to see what his character arc goes. I definitely got some The Boys vibes from this show, just based on like
she was in Mindhunter.
Who is she in Mindhunter?
Annalise.
How many episodes?
Who are you fucking talking about?
Lena Olin.
A lot of Googling this episode.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that's Gary Oldman?
I do not remember this.
So she was in
girl.
one episode only.
Oh, that.
Oh, yeah, totally. Oh, now I know, yeah. Fuck.
I don't know this actress, so
Never mind.
I've not seen Chocolat. But also in this show, besides the three names we've mentioned, Dylan Baker as well, Josh Radnor, also in the show, Carol Kane.
Oh, yeah, Josh Radnor's in this show.
Lonnie Flash. You guys don't see their character introduction until the second episode, but he looks like he's going to be like the comic relief. So, and I liked him so far. I can't wait to see. There's some cool characters they show off in the next episode, so kind of sets up their dynamics, who they are within this group, and it kind of shows you how they operate this, like, their Nazi hunting. So, and each character has their own, like, specialty. Mm-hmm. Like, Al Pacino is the leader. Logan Lerman kind of is like this. He's able to, like, kind of solve puzzles. He can visualize a lot of things.
Oh, yeah.
He can, like, kind of figure things out quick.
Because I was wondering, there was a couple parts in the first episode that I was like, what's going on?
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
Like, Carol Kane and her husband are, like, they can build a bunch of, like, I guess, weaponry and things like that. Lonnie Flash, Josh Radnor's character, is like a disguise. He's like an actor, so he's able to, like, disguise himself amongst different roles. So it's kind of interesting to see in their dynamic. As I said, we're not too far into it, so I think it's 10 episodes total. I do have one complaint of the show, and I think an hour and a half for a pilot, a first episode, is a little much.
Yeah,
it's a lot. It's a lot to watch just for one episode. It's a movie. I'm watching a movie before the TV show, and it's like sometimes an hour is already a lot if it's
just a TV show.
If it's just TV show, and if you're not, making full use of that hour, like if it's not like sometimes like in that first episode, it was a little slow because it's just I know they have to set up a lot, but like it's a lot to get to like the end, which is basically like the actual setup of the show. But
exactly, it
is good. The young Nazi character is terrifying. You'll see.
Oh yeah.
As you continue, he should be interesting to see where he kind of goes.
It was fucking creepy.
Yeah. But yeah, we're not too far into it. I'm gonna keep watching. I'm curious to see where it goes.
Jordan Peele produced.
Yeah. But yeah, that's all I have on it. Daniel, do you have any other thoughts?
No, it's just it interests me enough to keep me watching. So
okay,
that's all I have to add.
I have nothing.
So you guys have been using your Disney Plus since last week. I did have something to say about it since we opened that discussion.
Yeah.
In last week's episode, I made a complaint that it's a dumb complaint, but it's like I would have to AirPlay Disney Plus to get it on my TV if I wanted to stream, or I had to turn my like Xbox on to stream it. Within like days of that, I think it was like last Thursday, my TV updated. It's like, there you go. Here's your Disney Plus. Now you can watch it through your like apps on your TV. And I'm like, oh, okay, wow. So then I watched Hunchback of Notre Dame.
There we go.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And I did see you tweeted out a reminder for.
Yeah.
Oh, you have to.
Have you guys tried to use it more actively? I know you were.
I use it to fall asleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were watching Hercules the other night.
Come on.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Baller.
Yeah. Daniel?
I haven't really seen much.
Air Hercs, baby.
Yeah.
Air Hercs.
Really? You haven't gone on and seen Toy Story 4?
No.
Oh. It's weird. You're a fan of watching old movies over and over again. Just figured you'd want to see that again. Or, Beauty and the Beast.
I could. I'm just having...
Yeah, or, watch the movie you were lent.
Well.
Call back.
Your late fee would be outrageous. It would be at least $4 from Blockbuster. I wonder, how high do those late fees get? Did you ever have to... Do you guys even remember?
I don't remember.
Daniel, you should remember.
Why? I wasn't old enough to actually rent movies.
You still beat out other people I've lent stuff out to, so...
Oh.
Shade. Throwing shade.
I am. Maybe I'll get it back.
That's the biggest joke right there.
That is the biggest joke right there.
Right.
Any other guys? Any other thoughts this week? I will say though, this week's movie, there's just one movie I think, and it's The Invisible Man, which is getting great reviews. Like it's like a 90% on Rotten Tomatoes right now. Very excited for that. I'm actually gonna go check that out this weekend.
Brett's not really interested. We were talking about it on the way here. He doesn't seem interested.
The reviews helped. The director is helping as well.
I mean, there's only been one trailer, but from that trailer, I kind of like was a little curious. I was like, okay, I like Elizabeth Moss, so I was like, this could be either, like like good, or it could be like terrible.
Yeah.
Like any movie, I guess, but I don't know. Like since it's been made before, it could have just been like unnecessary. But it feels like, from what the consensus is saying, that it's fresh enough to justify another remake.
I will say
or another adaptation.
I don't think it's that great. The trailer's not that great. I don't think it does a good job.
Yeah. I feel like they're kind of holding.
Because I was like not. Yeah. I was like kind of like Brett. I was like, maybe I'll wait to see. But I saw the reviews and a lot of people have been seeing it already, been kind of praising it. I'm like, all right, I'll definitely check this out. If you want a good idea of this director's style, I'd say his last movie was Upgrade, which was phenomenal. I think that was a very really under the radar movie. That was a great movie. And that was not his first. We were talking about this the other day. It wasn't his first movie. He did Insidious 3.
So that was he directed that.
He directed that one. Yeah.
Because he wrote. I know he wrote Saw. I think of one.
Pretty much anything he did with James Wan.
Yeah.
With horror.
And then he wrote the Insidious movies. I didn't know he had directed the third one.
Mm-hmm. So he directed the third one. He wrote and directed Upgrade. And then I think he wrote and directed this one as well.
He's Australian, I believe.
He is Australian, yeah.
I mean, but he has a good track record, so.
Yeah. I'm definitely gonna. I think I am gonna check it out this weekend.
Me too. I'm gonna see it.
You should watch Upgrade as well. I would just once again recommend that if you can find it somewhere, just watch it. Yeah. So. But I think that's it for this week's episode, unless you guys had something else.
I mean, I can talk a lot of... I'm not going to go on about it too much, but I did watch an old movie that I hadn't seen ever, and it was played in theaters for its 35th anniversary, and it was The Color Purple.
That's right.
There's a couple of things that interest me going in, because they do like a little like before and after like talk for these like Chernow classic movies that they put in theaters. But Steven Spielberg directed that movie, which was... Before this movie, he had only done like action and sci-fi. So he had only done like Jaws, E.T., Raiders of the Lost Ark. So he was very skeptical going in to direct this movie. He didn't want to direct it at first because he thought a director of color should direct a story about people of color. But Quincy Jones, who produced the movie, really wanted him to direct it. So he convinced him. So he did it. 2 actresses made their film debuts in this movie that went on to have a very successful career afterwards.
Was one Oprah?
One of them was Oprah.
That's right.
And one of them was Whoopi Goldberg.
Wow, dude, good job.
Yeah.
Whoopi Goldberg, who plays the main character, and up till that point, she had only done like stand-up.
Okay.
And she wrote to the book's author when news of the adaptation was good, that it was going to be made. And she's like, I want a part in this movie, like, no matter, like, I'll play any part. And I guess Steven Spielberg went to one of her stand-up shows, and he was like, he gave her the main part, because that's how impressed he was with him. But if you've never seen this movie, I highly recommend it. It's a really good movie. It's not your typical, I feel like a lot of the movies of that time that told, like, stories about people of color were like slavery related, and we still get those movies nowadays. But I feel like this movie like is not about that at all. It's just about a woman's life.
Okay.
And it's a good movie. Great performances from Whoopi Goldberg, and Oprah's really good in this movie too. Danny Glover's in it.
It's definitely one of those like movies I've been meaning to watch for a while now. Didn't they like not remake the movie, but they redid the story or something for TV, didn't they?
I'm not sure about that. There is a musical.
Okay, maybe that was
that opened in the early 2000s, and Oprah is producing the adaptation. They're gonna do another movie based on the musical. I did see. Yeah.
They're gonna Mean Girls it.
Yeah, I did see the musical a couple years ago, and it was really good, but I kind of couldn't follow the story as clearly. like I feel like the movie made it more clear to me, the story, just because I feel like the music was really good, but it kind of like prevented me from like following the story. I found myself confused in a couple parts. So I feel like now that I've seen the movie and understand the story better, I appreciated the show a little more because it's a really good show.
Okay.
But great movie. Steven Spielberg has said that it was a huge stepping stone in his career because after that he went on to make more serious movies, and we've gotten very good serious movies from him. So yeah.
Okay.
That's about it.
Coolio.
A little retrospect.
Great rapper.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gangsta's Paradise.
Sonic.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah, well, in the first trailer.
Oh.
That was the song they used.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Anyways. Thanks for tuning in this week.
Brett, where can they listen to us?
Where you're currently listening is a great and fantastic place to listen. We will be having a YouTube page?
Yes. I have a YouTube page. I'm currently building some stuff. I should have this week's and last week's episodes up by Friday. YouTube is a little bit rougher with the length of time, so I got to figure that out still. But we should be getting up on YouTube, and I'm going to slowly put our back catalog on there. So if somehow you like to watch stuff through YouTube, that'll be a platform you can check it on. In terms of video, it's going to be really basic. We are not filming our podcast yet, so it's not going to be there visually yet. Maybe in the future that'll be something we look into, but for now it'll just be a little something I created just on loop for now.
Cool.
Also, we weren't on iHeartRadio. We should be soon. I'm waiting to hear back from them. We should be submitted on there. So for the person or people who like to use iHeartRadio, my mom, she should be able to listen on iHeartRadio soon enough. But what other platforms?
Spotify, Apple Podcast, and Stitcher.
Mm-hmm.
And our great sponsor, Anchor.
And Anchor, yeah. And make sure when you go on iTunes or Spotify, you follow us or you rate us. Especially on iTunes, give us 5 stars. Let us know how we're doing. Make sure that we keep getting
our movies back.
Yeah. We get pumped up. Maybe we get suggested more if we get more people reviewing, so people could check us out.
Yeah.
And Daniel, where can they follow us?
We're on Twitter and Instagram at AnActionPod.
And you can follow all of us individually. I'm on Twitter at DRockMountain or on Instagram at DeRockyMountain.
And as usual, I'm on Instagram and Twitter at Brett J. Burke.
And I'm on Twitter at Denko89 and on Instagram at DenkoRomero89. Thanks for tuning in.
Will Daniel watch the movie? Stay tuned.
He won't.
He won't. No.
And cut.